Hello, everybody. So, as you can see, I'm here in Prague Castle, particularly outside of St. Vilas Church. I just wanted to talk a bit about big projects like this in the past and what their purpose was, and I think some issues with the narrative that we have about them today. Now, the core thing, and this is something that you realize the more you actually read history, there's a narrative that people prior to the 20th century were just stupid. Like, they had no idea how things worked. They were completely ignorant. This is especially true when it comes to any kind of hygiene or disease or stuff like that. Now, while the people in question may not have had as sophisticated an understanding as what we have today, that is, they might not have had modern germ theory or understood bacteria or had economic calculations all figured out. They weren't dumb. They understood cause and effect. If you'll tolerate a slight digression, I think one of the best examples of this is the infamous plague doctor outfit. Now, everybody makes fun of it. They say, oh, they're stupid people, it's superstition, stuff like that. But when I actually looked into it, the plague doctor outfit was leather and it was dipped in wax. And I think it was like basically sealed together. So it was largely waterproof. So droplets could not get in off the person. The mask also had a very rudimentary filter in it, so droplets couldn't get in from that. And they manipulated the people with canes. They didn't directly touch the patients. So is it primitive? Yes, but they did understand at a certain level that having some sort of protective equipment and not directly touching sick people was a way to prevent disease. I know that's a digression, but the point is, like, they weren't stupid. So when it comes to stuff like this, and even on some of the tours I've been on, they've been portraying it as, oh, it's just the egomaniac emperor, it's the king of Prussia just wanted to show off how much money he had, so he built a cathedral in Berlin, and just kind of that narrative that they're just like stupid, ignorant, egotistical people, or they're very superstitious, and they wanted to get God's blessing by building massive cathedrals and stuff like that. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of truth to that, but people, especially smart people, tend to do things for multiple purposes. Now, a theory that I've heard, and I think that this is probably true, is that in a lot of cases, stuff like this can be seen as a form of economic stimulus. It's a way to put a bunch of money into the economy, much like building projects today or infrastructure projects today. Because, I mean, if you think about it, like, you have to have masons, you have to have quarries, you have to have people who haul the stones, goldsmiths, sculptors. You employ all kinds of people to work on something like this. And then you have obviously all the support services, the people who feed them, who provide them with beer and stuff. And it is a way to put a lot of money into the economy. Another example of this is there's this kind of, and when I was reading this, the biography of Isabella of Castile, it mentioned that she would often only wear an outfit once or twice. And it's just, once again, that's portrayed as being a very wasteful, entitled thing. But it's not like they burned the outfit. She would normally give them to a courtier or to her retinue so that they could also look good. And I think it's also, to a certain extent, once again, a form of stimulus and maybe a form of advertisement even. It's very common for designers to give the First Lady a dress for free as kind of a promotion, and they'll take it from maybe a lesser known designer, and it's kind of a win-win situation. Now, did they understand the Keynesian multiplier and that kind of thing? No. But you don't have to be a genius to understand putting money into the economy. Now, on that topic, I think it's also interesting because you could argue, oh, well, it has no practical purpose. As if the spending we do on stimulus today has any kind of practical purpose. And a lot of the time, it's not just shoveling money into ovens. I would argue that no, it did have a practical purpose, aside from just stimulus, because you got this. You got this magnificent church that generates tens or hundreds of millions of dollars for the Czech Republic every year. I mean, look at, like, if you look at most of the things that were built that were vanity projects or were ego trips or whatever, most of them are massive tourist attractions. And it cost a lot of money to build, and it costs a lot of money to maintain, but Prague Castle brings probably tens of millions of people to Prague a year. And once again, it's a constant economic stimulus. People come here, they see other stuff, they buy food, they buy beer, and a lot of people make their living out of it. So it was an investment in the future, but it was an investment in the future that would take hundreds of years to fully pay off. A lot of these cathedrals would be started, and it would be understood that it would take 200 or 300 years. I think this one took over 1,000 years to build the whole thing. Like, look at Versailles, for instance. People make fun of Versailles and say, oh, Louis XIV was this egomaniac or whatever, or he thought he was a god. But once again, tens of millions of people go to Versailles. It's not just that, it's also a prestige thing. It's also, France can go, look, we have Versailles, we have this symbol of our glory. It's something we can put on postcards, and that stuff matters. It's something that sets you apart. It's something that gives you a certain prestige, a certain mystique to you. And I mean, once again, think of all the stuff we waste money on today. Like, you can't even name a lot of it. A lot of it is just random checks, a lot of random tax credits and stuff like that. A lot of it is just completely wasted and laundered and stuff like that. But I mean, at least here, once again, we have this marvel of engineering. We have this beautiful cathedral that hopefully will stand for another 1,000 years. And like, I mean, look at all the people here. And this is October, so it's the down season, but all of these people are buying accommodations in Prague. They're buying food. They bought tickets to see it. So, I mean, who was right in the long term and who was wrong? Now, to get a bit LARPy for a second, my friend Terrellian, who, go check out his channel, he does stuff about the Holy Roman Empire and castles and the like. His solution for youth unemployment is one of the most base things I've ever heard. What he suggests is that we train all the unemployed youth in stonemasonry and sculpture and stuff like that, and we get them to build cathedrals and monuments. And you know what? It's goofy, but I'd rather them do that, because then you at least, like I said, you get stuff like this. You get stuff like that obelisk over there. Stuff that people will come halfway across the world to see. I mean, I'm here to see it. I came all the way from North America to Central Europe in part to see stuff like this. So I just thought that was an interesting point. Once again, the ancients weren't stupid, or not even the ancients, but pre-modern people were not stupid. They didn't have sophisticated explanations. But if you look at something like miasma theory, for instance, in terms of how it works, it's not that far off. The idea that there's like bad air that comes off of diseased people that makes you diseased, is that exactly how viruses and bacteria works? No, but it's the mechanism is very similar. The mechanism is certainly enough. So anyways, God bless. I hope people enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you again real soon.